Right, g'day guys. We are getting ready for the Whanganui East Club surf casting competition that's coming up next week. Whanganui South Beach. Just going through all of the gear, making sure we're all ready, getting the bag all sorted, reels, sinkers, knives and bits and pieces. Just going to tie a bunch of fresh traces, put them in the trace bag so we're all ready to go. Using 30-pound fluorocarbon for that one, and BKK circle hooks, 4 burrows. And we'll tie some pulley rigs, some of my usual single dropper rigs, and we might do some running rigs as well, which just uses the same trace as a pulley rig. They're interchangeable. So yeah, we'll tie a few up. Might take a while. What are we going to do first? Pulley rig. It takes the longest. We need one of those. And clip for the sinker. Right. Haven't tied one of these for a while. Right, so that's all we're going to tie for now. I've done 2 pulley rigs and 4 sets of traces, and I've also done one of my little dropper rig setups, which is just a split ring. It's kind of like a 3-way swivel. It's a split ring with 1 swivel going to your main line, 1 to your trace, and a clip going to your sinker. And you can just use these traces for this rig and for the pulley rig and for a running rig, and you use the same traces for all of them. So I've just done a few different lengths with a few different beads and stuff at the bottom. If you haven't used these pulley rigs, they're pretty cool. The way they work is you tie that to your main line, you clip your sinker onto there, and then you clip your hook onto the other end.
I did the thing.
Like so. And then chuck the sinker on. See it without it. Sinker on the end. Just goes on that little clip there. I can get it in. Main line holds onto that, so when that sets, it just sits in the sand like that, and the fish can grab that, and it can, there's a bit of give in it there, and then when it hits the sinker, boom, it sets the hook. And when you're casting, you can stick that in your little clip like that, and it holds it all together nice and tidy, so you can get a much longer cast with it. And then when it splashes down, it should release, and it just floats off in the current. Very cool rig. Quite good if the fish aren't hooking up, eh? Gives them a little bit more to run, and then keep those traces off there. And yeah, as I say, that same one, hook onto that rig. That main line there, sinker on there, so that one's more a bottom one. I find that one works quite well for snapper and gurnard, less so for car white. They seem to like it a bit higher off the bottom. But yeah, and then a running rig is just like, you'll just have a bead on your main line with a swivel that runs free on the main line, and then you'll tie this to the end, and the sinker goes on the swivel.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this, yeah. So your sinker sits on the bottom, and then the fish can run and take line. And the idea is you'll have your rod sitting there without any tension on it. It won't be like bent right over, holding on to the sinker. And when the fish grabs it, it can just run off with it and have a good munch. Another real good one if the fish aren't hooking up. We've put a tapered leader on here. Well, I've never actually used these ones before. It's Suffix tapered shock leader. Goes from 0.35mm to 0.57mm, so it's thick at the end where you tie your gear on, and it's nice and thin where it ties onto your main line, so it flies through the guides nicely. Because this has only got 6 kilo main line on it, so I can't cast with that. I need the shock leader on for casting. But cool, awesome. See how that goes at the comp. We might get into that bonito and salt that up for us as well.
Sounds good.
Cool. Right, so we've got a skipjack tuna here, which is a great bait, but not so much for kontiki or surf casting because it's so soft. If you cast or pull it out on the long line, it just falls apart and won't last 5 seconds. So we have to salt it. So we'll show you how we do that. We'll take the fillets off it first. Still a little bit frozen, but it's mostly defrosted. It's so soft it just wants to fall to pieces. So we don't need to get every last bit of flesh off it because the fillets are quite thick and we don't need them that thick while fishing. We have to trim them down a bit if we do. And we'll use the frame with the extra bit of meat on it for the crab pot anyway. Right. So we'll cut it into pieces about that big. They fit inside the ice cream container nicely. Lay them in so they're just covering the bottom. Put a nice layer of salt on top of that. So that it's completely covered. And I'll put the lid on that, and that'll go in the fridge, and then I'll get it out tomorrow, and then that will have taken all the moisture out of it. You'll tip the moisture off.
Yep.
And you do that a couple of times, and after a few days it'll be tough as, and you can leave it in there, tip most of the salt out, leave it in there, leave it in the fridge, and it'll last for all year in the fridge.
Yep.
And the great thing about it is too, it doesn't really, if you take it out on a trip somewhere, it doesn't matter if it's not kept chilled, it won't go off because it's salted.
Yep.
So it won't go all rank.
It's basically like preserving it with salt. And
Pretty much. It toughens it up so much.
yeah.
But even then, once I've done that, when I'm using it, I will bind it with cotton.
Yep.
And unlike a pilchard or something like that, when I bind it, I actually bind it before I put it on the hook, and then just pop the hook through so it sticks out with it hanging off like that. And that's fine. It'll last as long as anything else on a kontiki like that, and it'll be perfectly fine on my surf casting setup as well.
Yep.
Same with that one. See, at the moment that is just like it's just ready to fall apart, eh? So soft.
Have you done this much with kawa?
Yep, works brilliantly with kawa. And that's about the toughest bait I've ever used.
Yep.
Nothing will get that off, it is so tough. But yeah, it also kind of, I don't know, it seems to bring its juices out and sort of stews in it a little bit. And then when you do put it in the water with the kawa especially, it's so oily, well this is as well, it almost leaves a slick of fish oil coming off.
Wow.
It's very effective. Cool, and we'll pop this one back in the freezer and we'll pull it out for the crab pot. We'll probably cut it in half and get 2 crab pot sets out of that. There's a little bit more on there if we'll probably take the belly off as well. A little bit more bait out of it. Yeah. So we'll whack that in there too. Cool. Plain salt.
Plain
Full salt or something like that, not iodised salt.
Right.
Cool, I might cut this one. Pop that back in the freezer in a bag. Good to go.
Cool.
Put that in the bag and wash that up.